back.
Okay. Hello everyone and welcome to Donington for the opening round of the 2018.2 South African simGT series. I'm Jason Holden-Jones and I'm joined by Werner Heenop. Welcome Werner.
Thanks Jason, good to be back. I'm looking forward to the new season.
Absolutely, aren't we all? And of course you've already had two major rounds of the season happening as qualifiers to get into this specific race. The GT4 series as well as the simGP series. And of course we had that last chance qualifier on Thursday evening, which saw the top 6 join the grid as well. And before we get going with the qualifying session, we do have an exclusive livery reveal by the RPM sim racing team. So let's we'll get that underway now. And there we have it, the reveal for RPM Sim Racing Team for the 2018.2 South African simGT series. And of course one of the many teams taking part in this great championship so far. Then you have Werner back to the action on track on qualifying. We've got 9 minutes remaining in the session. And it is Gabriel Rousseau topping the session for the moment with a 26.737 0.2 ahead of his teammates. So a good start there for Squadra Ghostworks.
Yeah, good stuff. And just as you say, that Judd Watt goes fastest by 600ths of a second. Judd Watt now leading the way from Rousseau, and only half a second between the top 3. But Judd Watt and Rousseau looking very strong here.
Yeah, of course, carrying on that fine form from the 2018.1 season. Of course, the drivers champion of both the GT series as well as Sprint Q as well, the double raced sprint format we ran last season. And as I say, carrying his fine form into this qualifying session, probably the race as well. Let's see if anybody can take it to him. And of course we've got Chris Heineke in third for Phantom Ghostworks, and Sir Henbury as well, his teammate too. And then we got the first of the RPM cars, Jason Absmeyer, in the secured RP Mad Cape entry in 5th position, followed by the Kidzap car, Crawford in 6th position, and then Stain, Lisha, Sparks and Lindsay Ray are your top 10 for the moment. And yeah, so lightning times here, mid 26s. And I think we saw Bongi Mabida do a mid 27 in the last chance qualifier on Thursday evening. So that's a difference in pace. Haven't seen Mabida set a lap just yet. And big news for this evening. Unfortunately, Christopher Langeveld will not be taking part in this race, having internet issues, and he had to pull out last second, and that has allowed Sean Lario to enter this race as the next in line from the last chance qualifier. He was 7th quickest on Thursday evening. Let's see what Lario can do with his luck, racing in Division 1 this week.
I don't see Willifant or Geldnys either. Are they racing?
No, I don't see them yet either. Hopefully they don't have internet issues as well. I know there's outages across the country, I've heard. So
I see good news. Bongi Mabida is out on track, so he's with us. Looks like we got 18 drivers that have set times already. And Rousseau is back 2/10 of a second quicker than Jadwat. Big battle going on out there in front. Heenop is still in 3rd position. Henbury is in 4th, 2nd behind Rousseau.
Yeah, so it's an all McLaren affair at the moment. Top 4 positions are McLarens, and then we've got the 2 Audis of Abisma and Crawford. Another McLaren of Stein, Lisha in the Ferrari. Oh, we got Mabida up into 4th position. So he splits Heenop and Henbury, the Phantom Ghostworks cars. So great to see Mabida up there straight away. And if we look at our AM class drivers taking part in their first competitive season at SimRace South Africa, and I do believe it is Christo Bortas there in 12th position, doing a stunning job in his first simGT race, or qualifying session for that race, of course. So a great effort so far. And Lario making use of his good luck to get into this race. And Langeveld's bad luck, unfortunately. But Lario up into 13th position, also looking good. Boy 14th, Ferrand 15th. Quake Claassens in the BMW in 16th position. We've got De Kock, Delport, Gerber. 19 cars have done a lap so far. We do expect 23 to be racing this evening. Let's see how we get on. Delport now up into 11th. Bottas now up into 9th. So good improvement for him. Let's look at Bongi Mabida in the Netcar 911 Porsche. Of course, we have new balanced performance for this season. So the cars have been balanced even further to bring them closer to what we had last season. So let's see how that unfolds in this race.
That's exactly what I was looking at now. 9 McLarens in the field, 4 Audis, 4 Ferraris, and the 1 Porsche. So no Mercedes. We saw a lot of Mercedes in the 2018.1 season. So guys are opting to go with the McLarens. McLaren very popular here.
We do have Peter Geldnys in the Mercedes, but I haven't seen him set a lap just yet.
Yeah, he's not on the server. I see Willifant as well in the Merc, but he's also not on the server, and Gerber in a Ferrari.
So let's see if those drivers can join before the race start, perhaps from the back. Let's see how we get on. And, a big shout out to everybody who was involved in the artwork for these cars, looking absolutely gorgeous, all of them. And they always look good, but this season especially, they look absolutely incredible. So a big shout out to all the artists for the season.
I see a lot of guys on the forum willing to pay money to get a good livery. So artists there living from creating liveries for the SimRace SA cars, it seems.
Absolutely. I suppose it's all a part of this esport starting to gain momentum now. And
Yep.
yeah, people willing to spend money to look good on track, and why not? It's a lot of hours that goes into making a livery, and especially a good looking one. go. People are starting to appreciate that very much. That's Jason Abismai now. He's on a lap down in 7th position. I want to be a bit further up than that if he can help it, but he's got a bit of traffic in front of him. But pretty much dead on with his best delta so far.
Slight improvement there. He's following Marcus Steyn. So we come now to turn 6 and turn 7, the right-hander here. Oh, he is catching Marcus Steyn. Oh!
It's gone wrong.
Oh, very unfortunate. I see nobody really improving around the track.
So just seeing what happened there with, I think that was Marcus Steyn was in the McLaren, I think that was. That McLaren turning around, and it's going to be interesting to see if that happens in the race, because the McLaren is pretty difficult to drive, especially later on in the stint. So I would expect the easier to drive cars, as you see a plane taking off in the distance there. That looks incredible. Wasn't expecting that. Yeah, so that's going to be interesting later on in the track, later on in the race. Of course, this is a 90-minute race, and everybody needs to do one pit stop. So it's not a sprint race at all. It's all about getting to the end, as it were. So all these factors come into play, and it's going to make for one exciting race this evening.
I see Judd Watt in a very good lap. He's 2 tenths, improving by 2 tenths on his delta, coming down the back straight now. And you could possibly go into provisional pole position if he can keep this up, coming through the chicane, losing a bit of time, losing 1/10. Judd Watt on a 126.6, so 2 tenths of a second faster than Judd Watt. Just losing a bit more time. I don't think he's going to get it here. But half a minute left in the session, and Judd Watt's not going to get provisional pole position, but he is going to improve only 900ths of a second. Oh, and as I say that, Rousseau improves 26.3. Really insane, these two top runners. 26.3, 26.5 for Judd Watt and Steyn on a 27.0 in 3rd place. Heenop only 300ths of a second behind Steyn, 4th position, and we are officially out of time for this qualifying session. Looking around the field, no real improvers. Judd Watt could potentially improve.
Oh, I made a mistake there. Just clipped the curve in his run wide. It's the end of his run. And I think who else is on a good lap?
Nobody.
Not going to improve. Nobody. Okay. So I think that's done and dusted. It's an all squad row goes to front row. Rousseau and Judd Watt. And then we have Steyn, Heenop, Mabida, Crawford, Henbury, Abismaier, Bartos, and Lindsay Ray complete your top 10. Wow. So the top 7 are covered by a second. So it's pretty good going, but certainly McLaren affair at the front, the top 4, and then we've got the first of the Porsches, Bongi Mabida in 5th position. And then the Porsche's got very good straight line performance. I expect some moves down the back straight from Bongi. And unfortunately, Leslie Oliphant's not going to be able to make the race. He's got computer issues, so technical difficulties hitting the field, unfortunately. Christopher Langeveld, Leslie Oliphant, and I'm surprised to see Wesley Dalport join as well, because he also messaged me with a problem. But anyway, that's all part of it, unfortunately. And while we wait for the session to count down, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Don't go away. And a big welcome back to Donington. We're around 58 seconds away from the start of the formation lap. And you can see the two Squadra Ghostworks McLaren's getting ready to go to lead the field around this fantastic circuit, Donington. Very historical circuit, of course. And should make for some great racing this evening. So right now the drivers were starting to trying to calm their nerves, but no doubt their right foot will be trembling in anticipation for this race, and absolutely why not. So we are starting the pace lap now.
And teleport bits.
So we've got two
There we go.
safety cars in the pit lane, so we're out of the action. So Werner, would you like to run down the field for us?
Yeah. Okay, so the two Squadra Ghostworks McLarens, as you said, the number 25 of Gabriel Rousseau, he did it 26.3. Number 83 Squadra Ghostworks McLaren of Jadwat, 26.5 seconds. Half a second behind them, another McLaren of Marcus Stein, Rebel Ghostworks number 55 car, did a 127.0. The McLaren of Chris Heenop only 300ths of a second behind Marcus Stein. In the Phantom Ghostworks, he did a 127.04. Netcare 911 Porsche of Bongi Mabida, he's starting in 5th place with 127.2, 500ths of a second. Behind him is Gerrit Crawford in the R8. Kids App RPM Sim Racing. Starting in 7th is Mark Henbury, also in a McLaren with a 27.3. The number 90 Secured RP Mad Cape Audi R8 of Jason Absmeyer, he did it 127.5, he's starting in 8th position. Another McLaren of Redline Racing, Chris Dubois, he's starting in 9th. The Ferrari of Brent Lindsay Ray, he always seems to go for the Ferrari, big Ferrari lover Brent. He's starting at 10th place with 127.7. Shake and Bake, I love that name. 11th position is Devin Lesher. Ricky Bobby. There we go.
We watch Rousseau approaching the speed up point for the start of the 2018.2 South African simGT series. And what a season it's going to be. I've got a feeling this is going to be the most competitive one yet. But Rousseau now will speed up to race pace. He started it, and Jadwat's gone with him. He's right there. And watch Mabida in the Porsche. He's got some good grunt down the straights. And not able to challenge Heineke just yet. He uses a bit of the track and a bit more. The drivers are allowed to run a bit wide into turn 1 to get a bit of better entry. That is allowed. And so that's at the moment we've got a position change. De Kock down to 18th and Ferrand down to 17th. It looks like they might have come together. So squabbling at the bottom of the field here. And we've got Ferrand in the thick of the action as well in the yellow Ferrari.
We've had Henbury losing 2 positions to Absmeyer and Chris Dubois. Henbury started in 7th, he's down to 9th now.
So,
and then also Quade Claessens, he made 2 positions already, up to 16th, past Ferrand and De Kock.
Got someone running wide in the back there. I think that's De Kock. RPM Sim Racing team in the Audi is run wide again. It's going to be costly. Let's go back to the front. Rousseau leading comfortably by a second ahead of teammate Jadwat. But Mabida will be looking dangerous in that Porsche, I think, although Crawford's got a run on him. So Crawford making the move on Mabida. Crawford up into 5th in the Audi, the strongest Audi at the moment. But Mabida is trying to come back at him now. To the last corner we go. And Mabida's taking that position back, runs Crawford wide. Interesting racecraft. And then we've got Absmeyer trying to come through as well. Crawford, Rousseau does a 28.8 to start the race. Pretty good lap time there to get going. And see Bongi Mabida very aggressive on entry there into turn 1. Judd Watts closed the gap. Yeah.
We've got Geldnys on the server.
Fantastic.
He's in 20th position. That's great news.
Crawford's off. Oh, Crawford's thrown wide at turn 4. He's trying to rejoin. He was well to do it safely, but he's down to 13th after being as high as 5th position at one stage, so that's costly. And as Lamprecht puts him even as well. Absmeyer's fallen back now. He has a position to Bottas. Bottas is up into 6th position. He is the AM driver, so wow, what a debut here for Christo Bottas. And looking pretty strong here in the red line McLaren.
Yeah, and only
wow.
two race laps in, and Bottas already making 3 positions, using every single opportunity that he gets.
Lisha puts a move on no, I think that's Delport. Is it? No, I think he's defending from Delport.
Yeah.
All the cars still very close together. Great to see.
New fastest lap by Heenop, 27.9. Heenop currently running at 4th position. Fastest lap, good work.
So that's a shake and bake car of Devon Lisha doing very well at the moment. Top 10 for him. Let's see how he gets on. Judd Watts still staying in touch with Rousseau, just 0.7 of a second gap remaining between those two. And as we go down to this is the Spartan, simGT Spartan outfit of Matthew Boy and Quake Claessens. But further down than what they would want to, where they would want to be. But let's go back to the Lisha Lindsay Ray battles, an all Ferrari affair here. And Lisha's got a good run out of that corner. He's going to try and slipstream Lindsay Ray. Let's go on board with Devon Lisha. Lisha very quick through the chicane. Oh, made contact there.
Touched him at the back, and he is going to wait for him.
Yeah. Just mistimed that ever so slightly, and that's all it takes. So Judd Watts puts in the quickest lap number 27.932. Lamprecht's got Delport. Of course, after that incident. So Lamprecht up into 10th position.
Started in 14th. And Leandro Sparks up to 9th. He started in 13th. So staying out of trouble is Leandro Sparks and Rian Lamprecht.
So let's have a look at the Lamprecht train for 10th position. Lamprecht leading Delport and Crawford. Crawford in that Audi. 2 McLarens ahead of him. Let's go on board with Gerrit Crawford. This car sounds beautiful through here.
This is coming out of turn 8 onto the Dunlop Straight, 600 meters. The cars should reach about 240 kilometers an hour, and he looks to be making a move. Crawford moves up to 11th past Delport. Through the chicane, coming to the Melbourne hairpin, turn number 10. Slowest turn on the track. Oh, looks like Lindsay Ray back up to 12th position already. Very close racing in the pack here. That's Henbury, Lesher in 13th place, coming over the start-finish straight.
And while we're watching this action, Marcus Stan has gone to 3rd, putting a move on Heenop. So swap around there at the front. Let's keep an eye on this very close battle. And Lindsay Ray is now got Lisha all over him as Kraft has disappeared up the road towards Lamprecht. So good racing, lap 6 of 61.
Mark Henbury just set the fastest lap of the race so far, 127.9.
wow. So Hembry's got some great pace as he works his way towards Christo Bottas in sixth position. As we look at Bashir Jadwat, he's fallen back from Rousseau into the clutches of Staines. I'm not sure if Jadwat made a mistake. I'm just lacking a bit of pace in this opening stage.
Well, he's actually improving on his delta slightly. So maybe it's just a very good lap from Rousseau as they cross the start-finish line now.
As Lindsay Ray's fallen back to 20th position. Boy and Claasen's away have fallen down, so I'm not sure if there's contact between those cars. Could be. And
as they crossed the line there, Jadwat set the fastest lap of the race, and just after that, Steyn set a new fastest lap, 27.6. So Steyn closing up on Jadwat, and both these drivers, Jadwat and Steyn, closing in on Rousseau. Doesn't seem like it when you look at the gaps with the lap times, say that they're closing in at about 2 or 3 tenths of a second per lap.
Well, so perhaps Coastworks maybe trying to reorder themselves, get their strategies in sync, could be.
We got Rousseau and Jadwat in mediums, and then Steyn and Heineke in third and fourth, they're both on softs. Bottas, Enbury, Lambrecht and Lesher also on softs, and Geldenhuys down to 17th, he's on softs. All the other drivers in mediums.
Okay, great. And Amrish, I'm going to move my microphone closer to me. Perhaps I'll be a bit louder then. Could make a difference. Anyway, Hembry now is... where's Hembry? He's in 6th position. And, looks like ping issues here for Mark Hembry as the car starts to jump around. Not too bad. But Hembry is now... In fact, Mabida... Yeah, Mabida is ahead of Hembry. So Mabida is in 5th position now. Trying to reorder things. Steyn still 0.4 behind Jadwat.
Bottas has lost the position to Henbury. Bottas' last lap a 1:30.9, so he lost about 3 seconds on that lap. And this lap as well, losing 6 tenths of a second already. Yeah, Jason, it's going to be interesting, as you said, with the McLarens, how they can keep up with their tyres, how they can manage their tyres in a longer race like this.
Absolutely. We've got Bongi Mabida in 5th position, just 2 seconds behind Heineke. So if those tyres start letting go on the McLarens, he's going to be right there. But I would expect Mabida to be on the medium tyre as well, so it should last pretty well. Go a distance in the race. Let's look at the Lamprecht-Crawford battle, and Leandro Sparks is actually leading it for the moment.
Bottas has made a mistake somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, there's McLaren tyre starting to let go. That's
almost 7 seconds lost.
Oh, that was close. Sparks only making contact there with Bottas. Says, well, we got some action in the... Oh, wow. So Lamprecht just making contact there with Sparks.
McLaren's fighting all over the place.
Crawford in the Audi. He wants a piece of the action as well.
Yeah, I think Bottas is some kind of problem.
On board with Crawford chasing down Sparks. Let's run wide. Here's Sparks, and I think Crawford's going to take the position, or can Sparks come back at him? We can't. Crawford cemented that 10th position for now, as he now goes after Lamprecht. Of course, Crawford is recovering as well after being as high as 5th position early on.
He was down to 14th at one stage, so making back 4 places. Looks good with his recovery drive. Looks like Jadwat is catching up to Rousseau. The gap was just under 2 seconds out in front. It's half a second now, with Stein less than half a second behind Jadwat in 3rd position.
Lisha had a run on Sparks there. Not able to make a move for the moment, but that 17 Ferrari looking dangerous. So Lesher definitely shaking and baking something, that Ferrari. Let's see what he comes up with at the end of the race. Oh, we've got Sparks running wide. That's going to give the position to Lesher. So Lesher up into 11th. And as I say, the McLaren's not the easiest car to drive, especially over a stint. It's definitely got 1 lap pace, but does it have pace over a stint? So we're going to find out.
Henbury has made a mistake somewhere on track.
Yeah, see again, the McLaren Knight is hitting.
Seems to be contagious. Spreading throughout the field. We are 15 minutes into the race. Abs, Meyer, Crawford, Boy, Lorio, Ferrand, and Lindsay Ray, all with new personal best laps.
So this is what it looks like at the front. And we've got move here, Stein making contact with race leader Rousseau. He goes around trying to rejoin. Wow, that's a big surprise. I think just outbraking himself and throwing a cat amongst the pigeons there. Damage for Rousseau. That has not gone to plan for Ghostworks. And Heineke now up into 3rd position. And Stein is rejoining 5th behind Mabida. So Mabida up into 4th position, reaping rewards after that incident. Look how aggressive he is into turn 1. Flicks the Porsche across the white line, getting the drive through turn 1. So that would have been a shock for Rousseau. Has it unsettled him now? That's the question.
The thing is, Stein was running in 3rd, so I think it was in 3rd when he made a move on Jadwat and probably outbraked himself and went straight into Rousseau there.
Yeah. So, of course, all these cars part of the Ghostworks outfit. Squadra Ghostworks, Phantom Ghostworks, and Rebel Ghostworks. Entering 6 cars for the season. And unfortunately, the Rebel has hit the Squadra. No doubt that will be part of a discussion after the race, no doubt. But anyway, Rousseau maintains the lead, just half a second ahead of teammate Jadwat. Jadwat under pressure now from Heineke. But I would expect these 3 to hold station. Or is Rousseau going to let Jadwat go? Mabida is right there in the background, ready to pick up any pieces that fall his way. So here comes Marcus Stein, the somewhat second-hand McLaren. And Jason Absmeyer there, still in 6th position, still in it, just 5 seconds off Stein. And we've got Hembry leading the Bottas train there for 8th position. Bottas, Lamprecht, Crawford, Lisha involved as well. So So Bottas very slow through turn 1 there. That might enable Lamprecht to have a run on him later on. But Rousseau looks to have settled himself. 0.6 seconds ahead of Judd Watts. Van, it's amazing, something like that can really affect your pace throughout the rest of the race. But Rousseau seeming to have just hold it together.
Yeah, I think he's got so much experience, he will quickly just compose himself. I don't think it's going to affect him too much, unless he has damage. I don't know if he does have a lot of damage. It doesn't seem like it. It should be on the left front. I think that is where he made contact with Stein. No, I think he's fine.
Yeah, as these two have now pulled away from Heineke in third position. So Heineke falling back towards Mabida. And we've got Crawford now right with Lamprecht. So Lamprecht in the other Ghostworks car a bit further down the field. And he's under pressure now from the Kidzap Audi of Crawford. This is the battle for 8th position.
Still a very long way to go. We're not even quarter race distance. We've already had 50 overtakes in the race so far.
Oh, mistake there for Lamprecht. Just seemed to pull the side as he got ping issues. Car moving around a bit weirdly for the moment. Seems to have settled. But something went wrong there for Lamprecht. Missing those moments. Christoph Bottas is falling down to 13th position now under pressure from Boy. So perhaps a mistake.
I see Heineke and Mabida both lost 2.5 seconds on that lap. So incidents for them, and Lambrecht lost 3 seconds, Bottas lost 2.2 seconds. Bongi Mabida with the fastest second and third sectors. So he's quicker through the latter part of the lap. And I see the best laps of each driver are very close to each other. Marcus Stein still with that 27.6 with the fastest lap of the race so far. Only 1/100th of a second slower is Jadwat with a 27.683. So we look at Bottas now. Redline Racing Omega number 113 McLaren. Bottas started in 9th. He's down to 13th.
We've got a battle here for 3rd position, Werner. Mabida is right with Heineke.
Yep, Mabida doing very well. Mabida looks really dangerous. Seems to be very consistent as well. He's the only Porsche between 4 McLarens in the top 5 runners. Mabida on the mediums, Heineke on the softs. So maybe Heineke's tires will start dropping off later on.
Those medium tires, the Bongi Mabida looking very strong for the moment. Heineke on that soft tire, perhaps those softs are going off now. Marcus Staines right there with Mabida. So suddenly we have a three-way battle for third position, the final step of the podium. But it's still a long way to go. We're only on lap 16 of 61.
There is some damage on Staines' McLaren. The nose of his car.
This is the battle between Lamprecht and Sparks. So, Team McLaren's going on it for 10th position. The front runners are very close together once again. These two controlling the race, as it were, but for how long?
All the action seems to be here at the hairpin. As okay, let's go on board with Marcus Stein and complete a lap of Donington Park. He comes around the final turn now, coming onto the start-finish straight, the Wheatcroft Straight, 550 meters. He should reach up to 220 kilometers an hour. Hard on the brakes for Red Gate, turn number 1, taken third gear, 115 kilometers an hour. Now starts a very twisty section of the track. Turn number 2, the right-hander, flat out turn number 3, coming to the lowest elevation on the track, the old hairpin, turn number 4. Starkey's Bridge, turn number 5, the left-hander, turn 6, another left-hander to McLean's, the right-hander, turn 7, taken in third gear, 130 kilometers an hour. Coming to turn 8, and then on to a short back straight, the Dunlop Straight, 600 meters long. Cars should reach about 240 kilometers an hour. Then onto a hard braking zone into the Fogarty S's, left-right chicane, turn number 9. Oh, and we see Stein closing up on Mabida now, coming to the Melbourne hairpin, turn number 10. Is he going to make a move? He takes a look. And coming out of the turn now, can he get good drive? Coming to Goddard's turn, turn 11. The pit entry on the left-hand side. That is a lap of Donington Park. Marcus Stein on the softs, Mabida on the mediums. And we are almost 1/3 race distance, so it should be interesting to see how these softs hold up to the mediums. Oh, we lost somebody. I think it's Henbury.
Oh no, it's unfortunate.
Oh.
I wonder if that's a disconnect.
Yeah, he was doing really well, running up to 7th.
So it's unfortunate for Mark Henbury. Got some luck for the last couple of races. It's sure he'll be back, and we'll sort that out for the many races to come this season. And as we see, Boggy Mabida starting to latch on to Heineke again. Pull the gap to who's behind him? Yeah, so
Behind?
Yeah, it's Mabida and Stein. Yeah, Stein's behind Mabida. Mabida now right with Heineke. Let's see what he can do down the main straight.
While this fight is going on for third place, the two front runners are pulling away. I think these three drivers, Heineke, Mabida and Stein, losing a bit of time, about 0.2 of a second per lap.
Gonna make contact, Bongi into the rear of Heineke. But all's ended well for the moment. But of course, there's Loud Stain to catch up. And they're nose to tail. Let's go back on board with Marcus Stain. He's got front row seats to the action ahead of him. And of course, Werner, this is all working into the hands of Jadwat and Rousseau. Heenop are falling back and essentially holding back Mabida. And of course, Stain is also part of the Ghostworks outfit. So if that is part of the... oh, we've got a position change at the front. And the leader is Jadwat, who's gone to the front. And definitely... So Squadro making the switch around. So we're not sure if Jadwat put a move on Rousseau or did Rousseau just let him by.
Might have been a planned move. I think it happened on the straight.
Yeah. So shout out to Boyd Bryson for catching that in the YouTube live chat. Thank you. Mabida's got Heenop. So Heenop has made a mistake, I think, through turn 1. Mabida's through. So that's unleashed the Porsche to now go after the two front runners. So, oh, we got someone off. Who is off?
Gerber.
It's Gerber recovering in the Gerber Racing Ferrari. So I think it's not going his way this evening as well. Hembry is back on the server. Great to see. A lap down, but he's going.
I think he's still in the pits. No, he's actually running. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see now if Mabida can catch up to Rousseau and Jadwat. Jadwat already 6/10 of a second ahead of Rousseau. And Mabida now under pressure from Heenop coming to the hairpin. I think Heenop just too far on this lap. And let's see what pace these guys can deliver now. They are almost 8 seconds behind our two leaders. Oh, there was a bit of a slip up from Heenop, losing a half a second.
A bit of
I
a
think
hello.
that is, yeah, I think that was exactly where Mabida passed him on the previous lap. So maybe it was a similar kind of incident. Back end of the car just getting a bit trigger happy. Wondering if Stain is losing some pace. His last lap was 1 minute 30.3. Maybe he made a mistake somewhere. I wonder if the McLarens on the softs are starting to struggle. We got Jadwat and Rousseau and the McLarens out in front on mediums, but Heenop and Stain, their McLarens on softs.
Okay.
It looks like Mabida is starting to pull away already.
He's pulled away from Heenop, but the gap to Rousseau has actually grown by a second, I think.
Yeah, let's see as they cross the start-finish line this time round. Jadwat and Rousseau doing 127.9, 128.0. Mabida 28.2, losing 0.2 of a second. And there we can see Heenop at 29.1, Stain 28.7. So Mabida is pulling away from Heenop and Stain about a half a second a lap, but he's losing time to our two front runners, Jadwat and Rousseau, out in front. Jadwat slowly building that gap to Rousseau. Still less than a second.
Jadwat's slow. Rousseau's caught right up to him down the back straight. I'm not sure Jadwat made an error, but Rousseau's right with him again. That gap just a tenth of a second really as Rousseau has a go. Jadwat around the outside. Squadro goes, so it's not holding back. They've actually opened up the gap to Mabida a bit more as well. 8 seconds. Classes makes an error. That's going to allow Lorio a run on him, and he will pass him before the chicane. Clarkson's trying desperately to get that position back as he comes under pressure from his teammate Matthew Boy. This is the Synergy Spartan outfit we're watching.
Good to see some Z4s back in the field.
Absolutely. And, we also have a Mercedes-Benz in the field as well. And then the former Peter Kelnes chasing down Wesley Ferrant. Mercedes-Benz versus Ferrari. And we've got Lindsay Ray quite a way back from them as well. So this is the Arco Phoenix Ferrari. Ferrant, the 213 car. Delport's got Sparks for 10th position. But the gap opened up with like a mistake there by Leandro Sparks.
New fastest lap of the race by Jadwat, 127.671. I see Mark Henbury also getting good pace now because he's back in the server and he did a 127.8.
Wow.
Second fastest driver on the track at the moment. We are with Holden-Jones. He started in 23rd, or actually in 22nd place, up to 16th already. We got somebody in the pits.
Stefan Lischer, I think the first of our pit stoppers.
On lap 25. So, wonder what pit strategy he is going for. It's either a very early one stop, or he could be going for a two-stop strategy.
Maybe he's decided to get out of traffic early, get some free air and get the laps in. As we see another, I think there's a Bottas into the pits. I think it is, yes.
Devin Lischer is out of the pits. He was on softs, he's on mediums now. And Christo Bottas, he was on softs. Let's see if he also switches to mediums.
So clearly Lischer looking to go to the end, I would think. Putting on the medium tyre. As Bottas rejoins now. He's got right away. Doesn't need to wait for the cars in front of him. But anyway, he decides to.
He stays on the soft. So Lischer, oh, Bottas going farming. Straight out of the pits, going onto the grass.
That's cold
and
tyres. Yeah.
So Bottas was on softs, he stays on softs. Lischer's switching from softs to mediums. Still 5 laps from halfway race distance.
I haven't seen much of Absma in this race. Circulating 6th position. About 2.9 seconds behind Marcus Steyn. So let's see how those Audis get on towards the end of their stints. At the moment is Bashir Jadwat in control of this race. The second head of teammate Rousseau. Mabida is in third. Mabida's closed the gap a bit to Rousseau by around 0.3 of a second. So the lap time's fluctuating. Lindsay Ray's pass for run for 15th position. Laria now under pressure from Quay Claessens. Claessens looking to go on the outside. Trying to get the switch back. Here's Quay Claessens. Let's go on board with him in the BMW. Let's can't get the drive on the Audi. Oh, Claessens very early on the brakes. Late on the brakes, should I say. Oh, contacts between the two. That's actually given Laria a bit of a jump start there. But anyway. Gloria didn't like that, flashing his lights, so maybe saying thank you, I'm not quite sure. So great spot here. Yeah. Stake here by Laria. Claessens looking to pounce. It's got an opportunity. It smells blood. Oh, riding his rear bumper.
Twisty portion of the track. You should be looking to carry the speed onto the back straight.
A tank slapper there for Laria, but he holds it well. Down the back straight we go. Who's got the grunt? Looks like it's the Audi of Laria for the moment. Matthew Boy watching on there. Oh, he's going to try get him on the chicane. Wow, they're rubbing paint. Here comes Boy, 3 wide towards the hairpin. Holden-Jones right there, Mercedes-Benz as well. It's gone on board with Claessens, trying to get the switch back. But no, it's Boy who's gotten past his teammate.
Great racing. Boy capitalizing on that action in front of him. And now we're seeing Holden-Jones. He's also looking for a piece of the action. And there we see Quay Claessens looking to make a move on Boy. And he takes back 12th position from his teammate. Holden-Jones, Boy running wide. Holden-Jones now, he'll be set up for the next turn.
Nice move.
Round turn 6, turn 7. Holden-Jones makes it stick. Holden-Jones starting in 20th up to 13th.
While we're watching that, Marcus Stan is ahead of Chris Heineke. So swap around there for 4th and 5th. Stan, of course, recovers after the incident with race leader Rousseau at the time. Heineke now under pressure from Jason Absmeyer. And he secured Audi.
Heineke's last lap 1.5 seconds slower than Absmeyer. Heineke on the softs. Absmeyer now coming round.
Flashing his
on
lights.
The backs. Very good move. Into the chicane, Absmeyer's through up into 5th. I think Heineke is struggling. Looking at his lap times.
I think Werner might see Heineke dive into the pits now. Let's see.
Lindsay Ray in the pits. Stein in. Absmeyer in as well. Steyn entered in 4th, he exits in 7th. Absmeyer exits in 8th position. Leandre Sparks just passing Absmeyer near the pit exit. Lambrecht and Boy in the pits as well. I think Sparks has made a mistake somewhere on track.
Yeah. So Sparks will rejoin in 14th position, so that's proved costly.
Boy exits in 17th. Heineke in from 4th position. So we got Crawford. I don't think he's going into the pits. He's staying out. We got Delport coming up to turn 11 now. He's also staying out. Going for a longer stint. Heineke away.
So Heineke, of course, is racing Absmeyer for, what is it, 5th position, I think. How's Heineke's, no, he's easily jumped Absmeyer. Interesting.
Yeah, that's... wonder what happened there. Absmeyer, Geldnys in the pits. It looks like Absmeyer somehow lost a lot of time to Steyn in that pit stop sequence.
See the two Squadra Coast into the pits. Our leaders. What is Mabita going to do? He's going to join them. Let's see how they exit.
We got Crawford at the hairpin now. So we got our top 3 runners in the pits. That is Gabriel Rousseau and Jadwat moving. Jadwat out in front. So Jadwat retains the lead. Crawford coming around the last turn now. Mobita still stationary in the pits. We're going to get Crawford, I think. Crawford will... Oh no, Crawford in the pits. Okay, Mobita into 3rd position. And Mobita is 9 seconds behind our leaders. Laria in the pits as well. As is Claessens.
So we've got Wesley Delport out of sync, and the McLaren hasn't done his pit stop yet. He's got Marcus staying right behind him. So this will be annoying. Steyn needs to get through as well. So he just lets him through, does Delport. Not wanting to fight Steyn whatsoever. Obviously running his own race.
Steyn sticking with the softs. Heineke has switched from softs to mediums after his pit stop. So still to stop is Wesley Delport and Leandre Sparks and Reinhard Gerber.
Okay.
I see Crawford at a very slow stop. Almost 3, maybe 4 seconds slower than the other drivers. Probably repairing some damage or maybe missed the pit box.
Front has just got Holden-Jones for 16th. Comes Gerber for a pit stop. Look at our race leader, Bishet Jadwat, controlling the pace at the front. Scott Rousseau, his teammates, rear gunner. Mabita's way down 10 seconds behind these two. So things going well for Squadra Ghostworks for the moment.
Marcus Stein, the fastest driver on track at the moment. He just set the fastest third sector, and his last lap 127.8, 1/10 of a second faster than our leaders. Field spread out now. Dalport and Sparks still have to make their pit stops. Extending their stints. As we are with Absmy now, started in the 8th position. He is currently in 7th, and there Dalport is in the pits. So Absby should move up to 6th. I see Sparks still staying out. As we are with Claessens now, he is chasing down Boy. Sorry, no, Claessens is in 14th. He's under attack from Lindsay Ray and the Ferrari. Dalport out the pits in 11th.
And well, so the race stabilizes. We've got a question in the YouTube live chat, and Warren Barkhazen asked, how about some background about the series? Well, we've been running the South African simGT series for the last, I think, coming on 6 years now. We started on the GTR2 platform. I think we raced for 3 years or so before swapping over to Assetto Corsa. Yeah, we've grown it from 2 cars to 60 entrants this season, and yeah, so what everybody needs to do to actually qualify for each round of this championship is to enter the qualifying races, either the Sim GT4 series or otherwise the Sim GP series, where you need to have a 7th place result for each of those races. In this case it was top 10 for round 1. And then we have a last chance qualifier last Thursday evening, which is basically a 90-minute hot lap session, where each driver can do as many laps as they want to, and then we take the top 5 normally through to this race. So each driver can qualify for each round of Division 1 of this championship, and this season we are going to run 3 divisions, it looks like. And yeah, so we're trying to accommodate new drivers coming in who have got talent, who have got pace straight away, and get them up to the top race each set, as it were. So we run points the winner gets 50 points, the second place gets 47, and then third gets 45, and there's 44 all the way down to, what is it, 43rd position or whatever it is. And each race has, division has around 23 cars in it. And so even if you're sort of towards the back or Division 2, you can earn points for each round.
Who were the first two drivers? Said it started out with two cars. Obviously you and...
It was myself and a guy called Michael Frost. We did a race with the Ford Escort in GTR2 around, I think it was Kyalami. That's how it started.
You said 2011.
I think it was November 2012, I think. Yeah. Yeah, of course, we in this race we run the GT3 spec type of car. So this is the class that is used in the European GT Championship called the Blancpain GT Series. Of course, the top GT Championship in the world at the moment. Of course, we had the Spa 24-hour last weekend. And this is a class built up by Stefan Rattel of the Stefan Rattel organization. And this class has gotten stronger and stronger as the years have progressed, of course. Seeing grids over 60 at races. So that's pretty impressive. And of course, the GT class is an evolution of the road car, the road GT car, as you see. And actually, I think the engine's actually somewhat detuned, but they do have more aero and a couple of the goodies. I think it's becoming more and more sort of a prototype class. If you look at the Bentley GT3, you see the engine sort of way back in the chassis in the middle. So the manufacturers are pushing the limits for the GT class, GT3 class. I see Stefan Rattel talking about the GT3 Plus class coming through, which is sort of an evolution of GT3, and we'll see what that contains.
Jason, can we go to Lambrecht in 8th? He's chasing down Sparks, so it's a three-way battle for 7th position. Sparks, Lambrecht and Crawford.
So good battle here. Lambrecht's got Crawford all over him. McLaren versus Audi. Werner, let's see how this pans out.
Sparks and Lambrecht, great races so far from them. Sparks started in 13th, gained 6 positions, is up to 7th. And there we see Crawford. Oh, Crawford is past Lambrecht.
Yeah. I think Lambrecht had a bit of a slide there, Werner.
Yeah.
And then as Lambrecht came past, he also had a bit of a slide, just sort of held on to it well enough around the corner. And yeah, it's a good battle there. But it is Judd Watt still leading the way, 2.7 seconds ahead of Rousseau. Let's go look at the Claessens Lindsay Ray battle. That's 0.7 between them, and then the battle in front of them, Lorio and Boy. So
we got Jadwat and Rousseau out in front, catching up to traffic now. They are up to the Cockverrand and Geldnys, so they got a long train of back markers that they're going to pass.
And then do they run more than one type of tyre? Yes, we've got the soft tyre, the medium tyre and the hards. I mean, I've yet to see the hard tyre being run, but certainly some drivers opt for the soft or medium tyre, and obviously a one-stop or a two-stop strategy according to which tyre they go for. So it's certainly an element of strategy in this race. And another question, are we going to switch to a Assetto Corsa Competizione when it gets released? I'm not sure, Christopher. I would like to. Let's hopefully we can use that at SimRace South Africa. I'm yet to understand how the multiplayer is going to work, the online component, but I would expect it's an evolution of what we're using now. So certainly, I would hope so.
Vince Derail lost some time. He lost 10 seconds on this lap. And as I say that, Jadwat passes him. Again, he goes off. I think he's trying to avoid the front runners coming past now. Henbury also losing a lot of time on this lap. Almost 20 seconds.
So Mark Henry showing a lot of character. Obviously had a problem, a technical issue, falling right to the back off the server, but he rejoined and he's still going. So that's what we want to see at SimRace South Africa. Don't just give up after you've had an issue. You never know what can happen. And of course we saw the fantastic race by Wesley Front in the GT4 series, right to the back of the field, and I think he finished in 8th position. So great stuff. You see a position change here. Crawford's got Sparks for 7th position. So the Kids App Audi recovering to 7th.
Oh, this Crawford Sparks Lambrecht battle still raging. 7th position. Lambrecht looks feisty as well. Ferrantes made a mistake somewhere. Losing 7.5 seconds.
So on board now with Björn Lamprecht in 9th position. The Rebel Ghostworks car, if I'm not mistaken. And he's chasing down Leandro Sparks. This is the battle we've been watching out for Van and I have. And as it rages on lap 42 of 61.
Yep, this is where the action is. Two McLarens of Sparks and Lambrecht. We got Delport. He's also catching up. 10th. Delport, the fastest man on track at the moment. His last lap of 1:28.056. And he's immediately caught up to Lambrecht. Lambrecht under pressure now. Lambrecht was putting pressure on Sparks, and now he has to defend. Out of the hairpin, coming to the final turn. Delport, is he going to look for a move? Hard on the brakes. And he is still on the attack. We got someone in the pits. That's Sparks. He only made his pit stop now. Sparks entered from 8th position.
Leandro Sparks rejoins behind Quay Claessens. 14th position. So we got a question in the YouTube live chat, but what type of equipment is being used? Well, from what I know, we've got a range of equipment being used. Anything from a direct drive wheel to a Logitech, I think it's a DFGT, I think is what's being used. Yeah, Logitech Thrustmaster as well. Thrustmaster T300, T500, RS, T300. And the Logitech G29 as well is being used. And then I know 1 or 2 drivers are using Fanatec equipment as well from Germany.
And if you're really skilled, you can use a keyboard and mouse as well.
There we go. We've seen it from Quay Claessens, Werner. Absolutely.
Still amazed by that.
Yeah.
Boy looking to make a move on Lorio. This is the battle for 10th position. Leisure, Laurie, O'Boy and Claessens. Ferrand has passed the Cock for 16th. Jadwat closing in on this battle. She's going to be lapping these drivers. Go with Lambrecht. He's got Delport behind him.
So another question from the YouTube live chat. What are the colored lines under the driver's names? So that pertains to which manufacturer the drivers are using. So you'll see all the McLarens with an orange line, Porsche with the yellow, the Audi with the silver or grey, and the Ferraris with red, of course. How fitting. And the BMW has sort of a turquoise bluey color. So that's what those colors are for. So watch the Geldernes Ferrand battle for 15th position, closing up nicely. And these two have got Bongi Bida coming up to put a lap on them. Oh, we got a mistake there from Geldernes. Here comes Ferrand. He's got the inside line ready for the hairpin. And pre-textbook move there, unless Geldernes can try and come back at him. Use the grunt of the Mercedes-Benz. But no, it looks like Ferrand's got that move down. So here comes Bongi Mabida in the Necker 911 Porsche. And looking on course for a solid podium result is Bongi Mabida. Another question from Warren Barkhazen. How many drivers would you say use a VR setup instead of screens? I think for the entire season there might be 4 or 5. In this race I think there might be 2 or 3 from what I understand.
Who is that?
No, Bishijat what uses VR, and who else would use VR? Wesley Delport perhaps? I'm not quite sure. No, it's either 2 or 3, I'm not sure. This of course lends itself to virtual reality. And we're looking forward to a Assetto Corsa Competizione, even more accommodating to VR. It's going to be very interesting as that technology progresses. So Mabida has finally put that move on Ferrand. And Marcus Staines catching up to him. He's just 4 seconds behind Mabida. Zahir is shouting seriously as he hears the news about virtual reality. Yes, Zahir, it's a thing now. So here comes
Delport, Lambrecht on the start-finish straight. Lambrecht on the inside. 2 McLarens coming into turn 1. I think Lambrecht is going to have him here, Jason. Yeah. Lambrecht in 8th. Delport still putting pressure on.
Yeah. But Delport was very accommodating there. Let's see if he can come back at him. A mistake there by Lamprecht. Here comes Delport with a run on him. Into the hairpin we go. Oh, very late on the brakes there for Lamprecht. He's run slightly wide. Here comes Delport. Trying to get the power down. Side by side into the final corner. The last corner of the circuit. Trying to get the drive into the main straight. Using the slipstream there from Lamprecht. Pulls out. Uses the outside line. Lamprecht goes defensive. Delport gets the drive. Let's go on board with him. See what he can do with it. Can't really do anything through here. It's bit dangerous to run side by side through this section.
Yeah, it's tricky in this infield section of the track.
Interesting correction there by Delport on entry. Was gaining in a slight error, and Lamprecht just pulled away slightly. She pulled quite a margin at this stage. So we'll keep an eye on this battle as we progress. So Lisha and Lorio, they're about to pick up their battle once again.
And they're about to be lapped by Jadwat.
Absolutely. So they'll be getting blue flags being waved at them now. You see Lorio getting well out of it, letting Jadwat through. Perhaps a strategy is trying to let Jadwat through and then sort of off-put Lisha and then follow Jadwat through. I think is a good strategy to do.
The sneaky blue flag move.
Oh,
I love it.
He's run wide. Okay, Laurier's letting Rousseau through now. Very generous.
So only 1.3 seconds behind Jadwat now.
Of course, this being the opening race of the championship, all the drivers want to get a good start to the season, and perhaps Rousseau just wants to get one up on Jadwat. But so far, it's going Jadwat's way. Watch the Lamprecht Delport battle once again.
Lamprecht, oh, I think there was contact. Delport is slow. Delport is slow still at the hairpin, so there was slight contact between Lamprecht and Delport.
He's had a half spin at the hairpin. Got a request here from Amrish Shinran. He wants a lap on board our race leader, so let's do that. On board with Bashir Jadwat now as we start a lap. Big start there for Jadwat, just correcting the car out of that corner. Go down through turn 4. The old hairpin. This is Starsky's bridge, of course, as Werner mentioned before. This is in the curb there, cutting in. Get a good entry to this corner. Not riding the curbs there is Bashir Jadwat. Rides the outside one though, then up the hill here as it were. Flick it in for the right hander, get the drive onto the main straight. This is a tricky second apex here. Use the wide line through there, maintain the momentum as much as possible. Use the error of the car, and under braking we go for the chicane. Flick it in, clip the apex there, clip the apex 2. And, oh, slight mistake there, using a bit of grass. Doesn't last out too much time though. Under braking we go for the Melbourne hairpin. Get back on the pass as soon as possible. Straighten the car out. Kind of braking for Goddard's. There's a lap with Bashir Jadwat. 4/10 down his best alto though.
Very similar times for Jadwat and Rousseau. Only 1/100th of a second in it on their last lap.
Of course, you're watching the battle for 10th position. Lisha versus Lario. Ferrari versus Audi. This is the closest battle on track for the moment. Lisha having a fantastic return to Sim Race South Africa after a couple of years a break. But back at Sim Race SA and loving it.
Does he have some damage on the nose of that Audi? Looks like it.
I'm not sure. Is that just how the paintwork is done? Yeah, I was a bit puzzled. Looks like a bit of damage there, isn't it?
Mm.
Boy and teammate Klaassen still running together, just a second apart for the moment. So they've just had Bangui Mabita put a lap on them in the Netcare Porsche. Watch Victor de Kock down in 18th position for RPM Sim Racing team. He trails Christo Bottas there, 8 seconds behind him. Reinhard Kerber having a difficult race, a lap down on the leaders.
Lindsay Ray out on the gravel.
That looks to be turn 1, Werner, somewhere there.
Yep. Yeah, turn 2.
Turn 2.
Using 22 seconds, 21 seconds. Lindsay Ray started in 10th. So not a great race for him. I see Delport is closing in on Lambrecht at half a second a lap. His gap was 2.5 seconds, is down to 0.8 of a second now. Delport and Lamprecht both on the softs.
Oh, we've got a spin there.
Oh.
Lamprecht's turned it around. And he's gifted Wesley Delport at 8th position. And here comes... No, Alicia's not quite close enough to take advantage of that error. Yeah, and he's far back.
I see Ferrand is closing in on Sparks as well. 7/10 of a second per lap. Ferrand is 2.1 seconds behind, so in about 2 or 3 laps time we could see some action here between Sparks and Ferrand.
Oh, will be sooner than you think, Werner.
Yeah.
As Leandro Sparks, he does very well not to turn it around, but that rear wing looks a bit bent, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. It's just me. Yes, Leandro just getting it wrong there. Ferrand will be, you'll see him in front of him, winning himself on to catch up. He's got 6 laps to put a move on Sparks for 14th position. And everyone now will just be wanting to get to the end. 6 laps remaining. And by this time, the concentration is starting to fade, and the guy's taking a bit of a drinks break on the back straight, who knows?
While we're with Ferrand and Sparks, I see Lamprecht again losing time, lost 5.3 seconds this lap, again at turn 2. Oh, Ferrand goes wide.
Oh, he's gonna hit the wall too. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Gee, I was on board with him and I saw that Sparks had sort of a tank slapper, and I think Ferrand reacted to that and he went off the track. Loses position to Boetis. The cock is still far behind. And there's Absmeyer lapping Ferrand.
So
Absmeyer started in 8th up to 5th. He's had a sort of a quiet, solid race. No mistakes, very consistent. He is 22 seconds behind Steyn. I think Absmeyer somehow lost out in the pit stop sequence. He wasn't that far behind Steyn before the stops. And once the stops happened...
perhaps he had some damage needed to be repaired, or maybe a setting on the pit configuration wasn't quite set the way he wanted it, and he decided a last minute change. Could be an array of things, of course.
Their pit into pit out times were the same, so
okay.
I'm wondering it might have been in lap or out lap for him that wasn't great. He's got Heenop at 2.7 seconds behind him. But Absmeyer's lapping 0.2 of a second faster than Heenop. No close battles at the moment. I think Henbury.
Oh, bit of a slide there for Judd Watts as we got him on camera there. But he's done it a couple of times this race. Like he's enjoying his driving this evening. He's got teammate Rousseau as his rear gunner. Going all the way of Squadra Groswex for this race, of course. But of course, round 2 we go to Mugello, a very different circuit to Donington, with their very long straights, and the straights is where the McLaren suffers. So, although there's a lot of aero to be used at Mugello as well. So, but. This, don't be mistaken to note this race is the defining what defines the cars for the rest of the season. Obviously, the cars displaying their strengths and weaknesses in different ways at different circuits. But this evening, it seems to have suited the McLaren the most.
With this too slow somewhere, lost the position to Grant. Yep, we go to Mugello next, and then we have Road America, one of the classics, Laguna Seca, round 4 and round 5 Nürburgring. Really cool calendar you got here for this season, Jason.
Oh, thank you, Werner. Yeah.
Great tracks.
It's just there's some thought went into it. Yeah, and if we do a bit of a slide there for Christo Bottas, now there was just a lazy slide. So it's got to show perhaps how worn his tyres are. Yeah, so this is going to be the final season that we use Assetto Corsa. I think this is going to be a fantastic farewell season to a great era that we've had. And really been the catalyst for a strong entry this season. Fortunately for us, the field's pretty spread out, so not a lot of battles happening for the moment. Just 2 laps remaining, of course. This guy racing Bashir Jadwat just controlling to see if he puts on another slide for us through turn 1. No. Very calm and collected through there. Of course, Gabriel strong in second after leading.
Really dominant performance. Jadwat is closing in now. Dalport to lap him. Dalport running an 8th. So these two have lapped everybody up to 9th place. Rian Lambrecht. Bongi Mabida, I gotta say, his pace is very, very good. Keeping up with them, keeping that gap relatively stable between 10 and 15 seconds.
Suddenly we have Ferrand and de Kock right together. See what happens now with these two. Go on board with Victor de Kock and the RPM sim racing team Audi. Fantastic sounding V10 at the back of this Audi, naturally aspirated. Chasing down the turbocharged, I think it's a V8 in the 488. Oh, mistake there for de Kock. And that's allowed front to get away for the moment. So de Kock running out of time to put a new on front. It's going to need to come in the next lap or two. Next lap is the last lap, so it's got it all to do. Back with Jadwat, who starts the final lap of this 61 lap race at Donington. And they'll be looking to keep it on the black stuff, not make any mistakes.
Jadwat and Rousseau, they have Delport. Jadwat now coming around the hairpin for the final time. Jadwat, of course, he took the lead from Gabriel Rousseau on lap 20, and he's led the race ever since. He's got the fastest lap at 1:27.494 as well, and he comes around to win the race. A well-deserved victory for Jadwat, followed closely by Gabriel Rousseau in second position. So it's a 1-2 for Squadra Ghostworks. Third position is going to be the Porsche Netcare 911. Bongi Mabida, great race from him as well. 16 seconds behind our two front runners. Marcus Stein, well-deserved fourth position. A solid race from Absmeyer in fifth. Heenop in sixth position. Crawford in seventh. In the RPM Sim Racing Audi. Delport, Lambrecht. Delport is finished in 8th, Lambrecht in 9th, Leisure in 10th, Lorio in 11th, Klaassen in 12th, Matthew Boy in 13th.
So that's
that's the race.
The end of the round one of the South African simGT series. Of course, we've got the Division 2 and 3 race on Wednesday evening still to come. You're very welcome to join us then again. But I think a very dominant run here by Squadra Ghostworks to get the season started with Werner. And I think the rest of the teams and drivers will be looking at that going, wow, that's very impressive, and especially to see some McLarens in the field too.
Yeah,
we
definitely.
look forward to see what happens in the rest of the season.
Yeah, Squadra Ghostworks, they made a very strong statement here at Donington Park. It's going to be interesting to see what the other teams can bring to the next races.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that concludes the opening round of the 2018.2 South African simGT series. From me, Jason Holden-Jones and Werner Heenop. Thank you very much for joining us, and until Wednesday evening, all the best until then. Goodbye.
Yo, Jason.